No. Welcome to WeTaku Anime Reviews, a weekly podcast. Sometimes weekly, sometimes bi-weekly. Sometimes we show up when we feel like showing up. We're really, really bad at this podcast,
We're
in which
trying.
4 friends get together to talk about anime, review it, and, well, it's really just all in the name, isn't it? I'm your host, Jovan. Instead of a weebology degree, I have these Nilla wafers, and that counts for something, right?
No.
So, with me are my 3 co-hosts. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, I am Thomas. I will be forsaking my weebology degree in exchange for some beer.
I see. I'm Steven, and I hate anime.
Fair.
Not a bad opinion to have.
Anime was a mistake.
I'm Allan, and I wish I had Nilla wafers, but all I have are these sour gummy worms.
Summy Gower worms, indeed.
That sounds terrifying, actually.
I'm gonna trademark that shit right now. That's gonna sell.
That giant, it sounds... That's what the giant earthworm from SpongeBob is called, you know?
The Summy Gower worm.
Yeah. It's just
Big,
gonna
scary, and
fucking
pink.
come eat everyone.
Alright. Speaking of scary, have you ever thought that... Okay, it's not scary, I lied. But, have you ever been watching anime and thought, you know what would make this better? If it was a Tarantino movie. But also an anime. Welcome to Black Lagoon. That's what we're talking about today.
You practiced that line 3 times before air.
I just really like the joke because it's true.
It is
I'm
very
so
true.
proud. It's basically just a Tarantino
No,
movie.
I approve, Jovan. I just wanted to let the viewers know. You know, all of them.
Tarantino the anime.
Let it be known that all of my jokes are absolutely spontaneous. No way do I try to think of anything beforehand. Nope. Steven, you're the one who introduced Black Lagoon. Why'd you do it?
Oh, well, I don't know. Black Lagoon holds a special place in my heart. It's just kind of raw, like gritty action. Like as you described, it's a Tarantino movie. So, I love it. Maybe not the best show, but I personally really, really like it. So,
Alright. Let it be known that the show follows Revy and others as they are pirates. I'm not going to get any more specific than that.
the Lagoon Company.
Sure.
Because the boat's called Black Lagoon.
We did it.
are a pirate.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the story, shall we? The show is super episodic. We only watched season 1. It should be noted. Okay, arcisodic.
Yes. It's not
Yeah.
entirely episodic. It runs in arcs. You know,
It's
2-3
arcisodic.
episodes.
My
The
bad.
first 4 episodes are independent, and then when I got to the 5th one, I was like, this is still going on. It surprised me.
It's still happening. Oh man, yeah, but it's arcisodic. It's not like super overall story based. Just story of the arc, story of the arc, story of the arc. You get development throughout, but I have been told season 2 is going to be less of that and more actual story. But that's not what we're reviewing this time. For the record, we are only reviewing season 1, the first 12 episodes. Yeah, first 12 episodes, season 1. And for that, I give it a 7. It is an enjoyable premise. I liked what was going on. It's a Tarantino movie, so I didn't follow it perfectly, but hey. But it was enjoyable. That said, it's not really overall. It didn't draw me into any extent really. I kind of just turned off my brain and was like, all right, let's watch a thing. Which for me, solid 7 out of 10. Great showing.
I gave it a 6, I think, out of 10. And it was a what? 5.5. 5.5. Yeah, okay. So my problem with it, it was alright. It was alright. It was okay. It was you can laugh about it. You can be like, ooh, guns, woo, bang, bang. It's cool. But there are Nazis in it. That's just such an overused trope.
No. All right, no. You know what? I'm going to take back my score for a second and keep it the exact same. Because you know what? Oh, God, I didn't mute us. All right. Because this show is tropes, and I love all of it. Have you ever hated the trope or loved the trope where, nuns and maids actually just turn out to be murderers with guns underneath their robes or whatever? Have you ever wanted, like, Nazis to be the villain of everything since the history of time? Have you ever wanted to have a main character who just doesn't want to get in the submarine, but he has to? I loved this. I love how generic this is. I love it so much. That story is a solid 7 out of generic.
If you want maids with guns, or nuns with guns, you watch Chrono Crusade. You don't have to watch this.
You watch a lot of things. Hitman is also an option.
But there's an entire OVA dedicated to her. Like,
I don't know. I liked Chrono Crusade better than I liked this.
Fair
I love the genericness. Even how you feeling?
I gave story a 6 actually. Like you said, it's quite arc-episodic. And yeah, season 2 is a lot more of a coherent, running, continuing plot. But for what it's worth, I do think it's enjoyable to watch. Yeah, it very much is tropes, but I think, like, for example, the mage with guns is like, I think it's very I think they do it very well, even if it is a trope. They kind of internalize the trope and make the most out of it. So I think it does a lot of that pretty well. But yeah, overall, the story is not the high point of the show. So yeah, I gave it a 6.
I also gave it a 6. I thought, so it is like a story that follows a criminal, outlaw company, and so the story really fits it. They deal in, say, underhanded business, and it's, despite like all the tropes that they sort of stick into it, it's still interesting to watch. I mean, not like super mentally not challenging, stimulating, but you know, it's fun. It's an action series, and it's cool, and it follows that, and so yeah.
All right. Moving off of that, for me, the highlight kind of the show, characters. I think I gave characters an 8.
Yeah.
Can anybody? Yes, perfect. I am on it. Mind you, this score is almost entirely just I really like Revy. Revy's cool. Dutch is cool. Balalaika is a name I cannot pronounce.
Balalaika.
Sure. Listen, I turned off my brain and I just enjoyed this show. So I'm giving characters an 8, not for like anything they've done uniquely. There's no, for me at least, there's no like deep like trying to realize self, or you know, it's not a coming of age story or anything like that. It is cool people with guns, and I am super in. 8 out of 10. And also Rock is there.
The Rock.
I wish.
I gave characters a 6. They did some stuff. They killed some people, and Revy she did not have a compelling background. It was like the most generic thing, once again, ever. She's like, I've been doing this my whole life. I have always killed and stolen things, and I guess she didn't really mention drugs. So she always killed and stole things, and like that's her life. And she like gets into little moods about it, and then like snaps out of it and starts killing more people. And that's like the entirety of the characterization I saw on the show.
Yep.
So it's just barely over 5, which is pretty much nothing. Like you have to, for me, to get below 5, you have to like do something wrong with the characters, and they didn't really do anything wrong. It's just they didn't do much right. So I gave it a 6.
Okay, fair enough. I gave characters an 8 because I also thought it was one of the high points of the show. Revy, like you mentioned Revy's backstory, and I think it's more one of those things where it doesn't matter that much. Like, she talks about it, but in very vague and kind of like, still just don't worry about it
I think
You
it
know?
just came up a couple too many times. Is my issue.
That's fair too. Yeah, it like sends her in a blood rage, and it's a little weird. But yeah, you have a point there. But I still think it's one of those things where actual story doesn't matter so much. It's just kind of like, yeah, I've been this way. This is how I am now. Deal with it. I think that's okay. And a lot of the characters don't really get much of a backstory. That being said, I think they're all very unique characters in their own way. Like, Dutch is just, tough guy, and then Revy's badass, and Rock is just like... Rock you actually see a lot of development with.
You have to.
Yeah, of course. But see, I bring that up because it's Shinji's voice actor, in the dub at least. I guess I should mention now, a couple of us watched the dub. So anyway, yeah, it's Shinji's voice actor. But, this time he doesn't just whine the entire time. He actually becomes a decent character. And so...
There's a fair bit of whining, though.
There is.
He knows what he was cast for.
Yeah, that is what Spike Spencer does, honestly. But anyway, I think you see a lot of development and bonds between the company really well. Yeah, I give characters an 8. They're just really, really enjoyable, and I feel like even though they're criminals, like, you can really connect with them. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Alright.
Allan, tiebreaker?
I give characters a 7.5, and the reason why it's this high, because I don't actually believe the characters are that great, but they really fit into the type of show that this is. They're all sort of badass characters that really complement the actiony nature of the show. And so, the only one who really kind of doesn't is the main character, and even he kind of gets his moments. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about it because, like I said, I don't think they're like particularly exceptional characters.
But what they do is fun.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to, can I get it correctly? Animation. Dang, I thought it was sound. All right. Moving on to animation. It did its job.
Been doing this for a year now.
It has been a year. And look at how good I've become. Never. I make the overlay too, don't forget that.
Oh, man.
I'll never know. I'll never know the order. Alright, so animation's up next. I mean, it did its job. I enjoyed watching all the blood and the gore and the bullets and the Revy jumping around in a blood rage. Was there anything else to the show? Wait. That's it. It did its job. It was enjoyable to me. That said, I don't think it was especially exceptional. I never, there are shots where I was like, that is badass. Mm-hmm. There's never a shot where I was like, wow, that was really well animated. Wow, that just blows me away. Congratulations to the team. Now, it's more of, I don't think it was exceptional. I think it was good. I think it did its job, and I think I enjoyed it. So that's a 7 out of 10.
For me, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because in 2006, most animation was making a change to more what it is now, where it used a lot of flares. It's very cutesy, like the generic one, you know.
I know you could do this one as cutesy, but all right.
No. Exactly. This is a callback to older anime. It knows it's not trying to look new. It's not trying to look the best of the year, right? It's trying to be a callback to the 90s, and they made it look good. It looks generally has the thick lines, the very angular faces and hair, and the shading is spot on as far as callbacks are. And what was most interesting for me was the reds and the greens, and sometimes the blues, really stood out. And the one I just keep thinking of, I love the ocean, because it's not some blue sparkly ocean. It's just a green, plain, form on the background, and I was like, "That's cool. It doesn't need anything else. It looks awesome." And then it's a blue sky. It's like a teal aqua green, and the blue sky. It looks cool. It's different than anything I've seen. Really, like you don't really see those colors together. And then always like split in between them was Black Lagoon, which is not really black, but
Was the Black Pearl actually black?
it had black sails. So I liked it for that. However, it is marred by its CGI. Maybe it's called back to the 90s, I don't know, but it wasn't a high point, and they used it a lot. There were a lot of car chases.
Yeah.
One day
CG
somebody will
cars.
animate a car. One day.
Alright, yeah, that's it. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
These
Good
are
job
definitely, I'm gonna put it out there. These are definitely not the worst CG cars we've ever reviewed.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Not the worst CGI. I think that's still Dance-a-thon, the show. What is that?
What?
Oh,
Love
the
Live.
Idols. Love
Yeah.
Live.
Talking about Love Life? Wow.
Yeah.
We're not friends anymore, Tom. Anyhow.
Dude, that CGI.
Yeah, we had this
Anyhow.
whole fight for an entire podcast. Move on.
End it.
By the way, guys, you
Anyhow.
can go back and watch our Love Life pod. It was incredible. We all hate each other. Steven?
I don't really have much to say on art animation, so I'll keep it short. I gave it a 6. I think
7.
overall it's pretty average. But I did like some of this action scenes. I thought they were pretty well animated. Like a lot of the Revy jumping around, like it's nothing to blow you away, but I still
But
think
it
it's
was
pretty
cool.
well done. Yeah, even the car chases, despite the CGI cars, they're pretty cool animation-wise, I think at least. And like the second episode where they like take on the helicopter, it's like I don't know. I think the way they handle certain things is just really cool.
Love.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy like when they get in the fight. It's kind of like, oh man, what crazy stuff are they gonna do this time? So
You know Revy's gonna do some wild shit.
yeah,
Off, like 3 walls with 2 guns out. I don't know.
exactly. And like for what it's worth, it's not the most fluid, but like it's really cool to watch. So I give it a 6. Pretty generic, but still above average.
If anyone wants to see it, Love Live was episode 14.
Oh my god.
Wow, you actually checked that? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that we should do if we bring up an old episode.
Advertise like shameless plugs.
It's our show. We are doing our show. It's an old episode. It's not a shameless plug.
It's a shameless plug for yourself.
We are on the show. We were just talking about our show before.
Watch us.
Go ahead, Alan. What do you think about the animation?
Alright. Like you guys said, it didn't really blow me away, but I did really like, sort of the direction of the sets. I don't really know how to say it, but like, how, I guess, how well they did action scenes, just, not just animation-wise, but like,
But using the setting.
using the setting, how characters like interacted with the setting. Yeah. I don't really know where to put that other than here, but I gave it a 6. About as close to average without being average, probably, that I could say. Was
Character
cool, though.
interactions with rocks.
Oh, no. Character interactions with rocks. Setting interactions. New phrase. Coin it.
Setting
Put it on the-
interaction.
Alright then.
All right, and finally, sound. Now is when I'll remind you what Steven said earlier. 3 of us watched the show dubbed, with Allan deciding that sub was the elitist way to go.
It's okay. It's okay, sub-elitist. I got you.
He got you. So, I watched the first episode subbed, the rest dubbed. Now, props to the show for making a dub that I didn't absolutely hate. That said, it's not the best dub in the world. I think if and when we get to season 2, I will definitely be watching this show subbed. Sorry about that, dub fans, all 3 of you in this world. But
This is one of the more popular dubs, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I mean the show. I'm torn. The show matter, like the show itself, the fact that it is just a Hollywood like cool action movie, like it fits really well with wanting to be a dub. I just think that some of the voices could have been done better. I don't like Shinji very much. Sorry, Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock. If they had Dwayne The Rock Johnson voicing Rock, maybe I would have liked it more. But...
You're welcome. Sorry,
No.
go ahead.
Voice acting was alright, but it wasn't incredible. I think the Japanese will probably be better when I get around to watching that next time. I would like to say that I really love English theme songs, so that brought my score up, but it wasn't the best English, so it brought my score kind of back down. The English wasn't nearly pronounced enough. They could have Englished harder. The songs weren't fantastic, to be completely honest, though. I don't think sound direction was incredible for this show, but it was alright. I think I gave it a 6.
I give Sound a 5.
Yes.
It was very, very hard. For the dub, I did watch the dub. To sway any doubters, I typically watch subs, but I didn't feel like it this time. The Shinji, I don't like the main character's voice actor. Sorry, Funimation. Sorry, Spike. I think
Spike
your name?
Spencer, yeah.
Spike Spencer. Yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted out of Stevens. Yeah.
That is Steven's roommate.
Yep.
So far as you know.
Yeah, I thought it just did its job. The gunshots sounds were overused. You're gonna hear gunshots, but you hear the same gunshots.
Yeah.
From the same guns. I don't know how to remedy that. You just heard the same one over and over.
It's just the same sound clip, so it didn't like it should be similar every time, but the fact that it's the exact same was like, well.
The opening song I hated. Oh my god. The end song was alright, though I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just watched.
It is how end songs generally go.
Yeah, it was alright. It did its job, I guess. There's nothing spectacular about it. Nothing really dragged it down except for that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's a 4.5. Maybe it's a 4. It was okay.
This one gradually goes down to a 1.
I liked Dutch's voice in the dub. It sounded appropriate. I didn't like Revy. Everyone else did. I thought she could have had a better one. She did okay. I will say she did okay. She did her job. I feel like they could have found a better voice for her. So. What is that? Between 4 and 5 out of 10. That's my thing.
So 4.5.
I didn't feel like changing it, so I just said whatever.
Okay. What did I give this? Hang on. Let me look back.
We've been doing this show for a year.
Yeah, I know.
guys.
Hey, I didn't call you out on it, but sound. Yes, I gave it a 7. You see. So I actually recommended that everyone watch the dub. That was my doing. I watched this quite a while ago. I own it on DVD with the dual audio. So I suggested the dub because there's a lot of diversity, and I think to an English watcher, you get a lot more of the accents, even if they're not the best. You can recognize a lot of the accents more when you watch the dub. So that's largely why I did. I also am not a huge fan of the main character's voice actor. but I think a lot of the other ones are done really well. Like, I personally love Revi's voice. I think I can't see Dutch having any other voice. Balalaika is 100% on point. So I really like the dub cast. And the songs, I think they use a lot of variation, honestly. Like, there's the one song, the ending theme that kind of cuts in at different times. And a couple other generally used ones, but there's also a lot of variation. And I think it fits the like action scenes very well when they choose certain songs. Your point about like the repeated gunshots, I hadn't thought about that, but that is true. I can't deny that. But I think sound was pretty quality overall. So yeah, 7.
Okay. All right.
We gotta go
Sub viewers, I got you. The sub was honestly like the main characters. But I'll go through the characters individually. The main character's voice I think is better than Spike Spencer's, but only in the like it's not quite as annoying. He's still like generic main protagonist voice. Revi's, I actually have watched one episode of the dub, the first episode, so I got to compare them. And Revi's voice, I don't really like either of them. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know. I just don't like the type of voice that she has. Either of them. For Dutch, I think the dub is definitely better than the sub. I think when it's the dub, it actually feels like his voice. But when you watch him in sub, it's like he almost sounds like an old man, like, and it's really weird because he's not that old. And so I personally like the dub voice better for him. All the background characters I can't really say, because I don't think there were many in the first episode, and I only watched the dub for the first episode. For sub, they're the Japanese background voices that you normally hear. It's not, the dub wasn't really, I don't think either of them are really stellar, but I think as far as the main cast go, I'd say if you can stand Spike Spencer's voice, I'd go for dub. Otherwise, I guess just go for sub because he's in a lot of it because he's the main character.
If I could
it'll do it.
If I could piggyback off of something you said, like it is a generic main character voice in both the dub and sub, but I also think like that's very much what they were going for with this character, because I mean, it's all first episode stuff, so I'll just say it out of spoilers. He's like a businessman who becomes part of this criminal team. So like, he's supposed to be a very generic person at first,
I guess,
and then
Oh, but that's every main character of
I guess
every
so,
generic
but, like,
anime.
even during the more like high impact scenes, like when he's like going one-on-one talking with Revi, like he still sounds like the
yeah,
yeah.
like you're not wrong. I was just making the point. I think they casted these people for that specific role. I think they wanted to have generic main character. Rather than accidentally falling into that, I think they did it very much intentionally.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
that
it
was
doesn't
my
change
only
the
point
fact
there.
that it still happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, I'm not a huge fan either. But
Like, bad casting on purpose is still bad casting.
As far
But
as far as the soundtrack goes, I think the soundtrack's very fitting for the setting. I don't remember it too well, and it's kind of reflected in my score. I gave it a 6, by the way. I don't think I ever actually said that.
scores up for the week.
I think the opening is very fitting, even though I don't personally like it that much because I cringe at English. But I think it's very fitting for the type of show it is. The ending is kind of weird. I don't know why the ending's like that, to be honest. Like,
I liked it better than the opening.
I do like it better, but I'm not sure if it fits better. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah. I am Chinese, and there was a Chinese character in this. In the sub, I don't know anything about the dub for this character because they don't appear until later, but they start speaking Chinese, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I think in the dub she speaks Chinese for a bit, but for the most part is speaking English, if I'm remembering correctly.
Started
Yeah,
in Chinese.
for the most part,
and
she
then,
still
like,
spoke like Japanese.
Okay,
But
yeah.
There were times where she, like when she was killing people, she would be yelling in Chinese.
Yeah. It is the same in the dub.
Okay.
And yeah, and I just want to go ahead and say in the second season you see a lot more of these diverse characters, and they're all speaking different languages. And again, that's really why I like the dub, because when they transition, the accent's still there, and I really appreciate it. So.
I think I did
For all we know,
catch
the accent
glimpses
is there
of
in
like
Japanese,
other
but-
languages. But I don't think I was like paying attention too hard about what they were saying. I'm pretty sure they did switch languages though.
Yeah, there's one point in season 2 where they're translating between Russian, English, and Japanese all in one little meeting, and it's like all the languages going on at once and just constantly switching. So again, the dub cast.
All right.
It-
With
it's-
all
it's-
that in mind,
It's valid for season 1 too, because I mean it's the same cast. So
it is the same cast. With all that in mind, I think it's time to jump into the spoiler section. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, leave now. Find our VOD on YouTube.com. WeTaku is the channel. It's the same as the Twitch channel. Which you can also find us on at intermittent times, because we stick to schedules sometimes.
We
But-
have to get back to Monday. Every other Monday.
Every other Monday. It looks like it's going to be starting next, after the new year. Every other Monday will stick really easily. But until then, we'll see what we do, because I kind of want to have a Christmas special, but that's not important. The point is, right? Now, if you don't care about being spoiled, stick with us. Otherwise, come back. You can just pause the video. We'll be waiting. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to spoiler section. First question, same as always. Who is best girl?
Dutch. Arden bad.
What? Revy
Nah.
all day.
No.
I like.
I'm gonna go Team Revy as well.
Episode. All right. Okay. No, it was okay, but I liked that he got one to himself. That
That's
was
fair.
nice.
I like Dutch better than Revy. Just
All right,
period.
I like Dutch a lot too, but Revy is best girl. Sorry, man.
Revy had more cool shots, sorry. That was my only... And I liked the booty shorts. Dutch didn't wear booty shorts.
Man,
Dutch
she
can't be
gets
best girl.
she gets a shower scene in season 2, man.
Her belt is like sometimes on and sometimes off, and I don't know if they meant for that to be on purpose. I'm not sure if you guys caught that.
Nope, did not
No.
pay nearly enough attention.
There's a belt, and it's like, right.
I'm aware of the belt. It's like the belt is like half the size of her short.
Yeah, like half the time it's not there.
Don't even pay attention. Wasn't even paying even a little attention. But glad we all answered that one. We have a little bit of a divide. I can see where Dutch is coming from. I just think Revy had more cool shots.
Yeah, I think they're both really great characters. I could see it being a toss-up between either or, but I'm all for Revy. Revy will always be my favorite. She makes the show, in my opinion.
She does.
So.
I can't imagine this show without Revy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it that. She is kind of like necessary for the show. To be, it is.
I would also like to bring up a second question, though. Favorite bullshit shonen crazy just moment.
The second episode.
Why are you stealing this from me?
Okay, I like the. Okay, so all right. What happens in the second episode is a helicopter is chasing Black Lagoon, the boat, and they have to turn around because it gets to the mouth of a river, and they like head back toward the helicopter, and they ramp off a boat and release one of their torpedoes at the peak of it, and it goes so like it's not in the water, so it doesn't have any like momentum. So I like that. It doesn't explode once it hits them, but it goes through the glass of the helicopter, smashes the main like bad guy of that arc in the face, and then it comes down and explodes. But I like that it didn't explode in the beginning. But it was just bullshit. It was stupid. It was awesome.
I would like to point out that they literally used a sunken ship in the water as a ramp to launch torpedoes at a helicopter. I feel like you didn't put enough emphasis on that moment. It's incredible.
There's a flying boat somewhere there too.
Yep. Just come on.
And I also like to just point out in that same scene, you see they fire both torpedoes and one just kind of falls flat, kind of like how you'd expect it to. It just kind of like, huh. But then the other one actually hits. So
its way to the helicopter.
And then it like inverts the colors there too. So like that's one of the scenes I'm talking about. I really like the animation for. It's things like that I really, really enjoy. Like I think the first time I watched it, that was the moment I was like, oh man, this show's gonna be great. So yeah.
All right. So Stephen, is that also your cool moment, or do you have a better one?
Yeah, no, that's 100% my cool moment. So
Allan,
I will say I like Roberta's scenes a lot too.
Okay, I'll be different. I would put that scene as well, but because both of you said it, I'll go with another one. I liked when Roberta curtsied and then grenades just fall down from her dress.
Yes.
I thought
it's an anime trope.
I thought that was just like the type of ridiculous that really fits the show.
I feel like I've seen that before, and if I haven't, it needs to be in a Final Fantasy game.
I'm 100% sure it's in the new one. Whether I haven't played the new one yet, I just know. But secondary, a new anime trope I have discovered is grenades when you least expect them. Recently, I started watching JoJo's, and my god, is this the greatest trope anybody's ever made? Grenades when you least expect them is incredible. Just putting it out there.
I need to watch that.
I don't know. I was kind of expecting him with Roberta, though. I was like, she's curtsying. Something's got to happen. Because that's just her character.
There's no way that she lives through that, though. Like, there's no way.
But she did.
Incredible reflexes.
She's invincible. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
Man, I really loved that finale when we found out all the characters are actually cyborgs that can't die.
That never happened.
She was basically the Terminator. Like...
Well, the main character turns out he's part of the Japanese Red Army.
Yep.
Which I didn't see coming at all.
I mean, no. It also makes me question the voice casting a little bit more, to be completely honest.
But I learned about history. I didn't know what that was before. That was a rebellion force against the Japanese monarchy in 1971, and they first appeared in Lebanon, I want to say, and were terrorists and stuff, and yeah.
Can I also just say, this show takes place in like a fictional Vietnamese city? Like, it takes place in Vietnam, but in a fictional city. Yeah. So like, having been to Vietnam, it's quite an accurate portrayal as well. Like,
I mean, I assume if you're planning to make your show take place in Vietnam, you're gonna like know what Vietnam is like.
Yeah, it was really cool recognizing the words too. Just personal note.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Never let it be said that this show is not educational. Black Lagoon and WeTaku.
Yay! Yeah. You learned something.
We're not sure what. But you learned it.
The JRA.
We learned...
They were communists.
They're communists.
Yeah.
I don't know, I kind of... The last bit felt weird for me. Which, I mean, the whole show was weird for me.
Remind me what the last bit was? It's been a while.
Just disc.
They didn't torture main character, dude.
But they were gonna.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't.
Gotcha.
They captured him, and then he got saved, and they delivered things to the CIA, and
Then Revy yelled at him.
it's a lot.
There's Chinese.
Just,
There
I don't know,
was
it felt like, don't get me wrong, the show has no, like, there's no point in trying to think.
Mhm.
But I don't know, I feel like the last arc of season 1 was just like,
Not an ending.
well, it wasn't an ending for sure.
Well, no, it wasn't.
It just,
No,
it also
not at
felt
all.
like that arc was, it felt a little bit different than the other ones, just like, we need to make you care a little bit more about Rock and the gang before season 2, so,
Oh, we forgot about our main character the entire show. Here's something!
he got captured, now we're learning about his backstory, go!
I feel like
Eh.
that's what happens with a lot of shows. You just sort of forget
Yeah.
about their main character.
Especially when the main character is as least important as he is in this show.
He doesn't matter,
Yeah.
ever.
I mean, he's the least cool, and this show is all about the cool factor.
They tried to
so...
attribute cool things to him. For example, the torpedo helicopter attack was technically his plan.
Yeah, he went like crazy, like everyone's like, are all Japanese people like this? And he was like, ah! And then they go. He was like, we gotta do this.
Wait, did you watch the dub
Dub.
for that episode?
I watched, was that the second episode? I watched the
Yeah.
first. I watched the first and both, and
Okay.
after that I just watched the dub.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was... I just... Like, he gets moments, but I don't care about him during those moments.
Yeah.
Like, generally, the action of the scene is cooler than the guy doing the action of the scene, in his case. Like, a lot of the times I'll attribute, like, Revy's cool stuff to Revy, or Roberta's cool stuff to her, or, Dutch is, like, awesome always. But, like, whenever Rock has a cool thing, generally, like, he's like, oh, man, I thought of this thing, and then, like, when it happens, it's like, man, that was a really cool thing that happened. And Rock was there. I don't know, I just...
Yeah.
For me, he falls too flat. I don't like the idea. I would have liked Revy as the main character. I'm gonna put it out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred Revy as the main character. I would have preferred. I don't. So let's talk about a thing. Anime has this desire to always give you a straight man, somebody who's new to the world that they're showing you, so that you can feel involved with the boring ass person that they have put into this really cool situation. I'm tired of it, and I get this is 2006,
Yeah.
so it's not like they can change it retrospectively, but it still happens, and at some point, I don't want a character who's new to this world, like, for the arbitrary reason of, oh, they need somebody to help them through it. I want to be dropped in and, like, learn things as I go, but I don't always need new kid on the block is going to show us how the world works.
So let me throw something out there. I wouldn't even want Revy to be the main character. This show doesn't need a main character. Like, you have Lagoon Company. Like, you can even take Rock out of it. You just have Revy, Dutch, and Benny. Benny's the, like, hacker dude.
We haven't even talked about
Yeah,
that.
I was actually
realized,
just
yeah.
about to talk about.
But yeah, let me finish my thought, Tom. Yeah, if you just showed the Lagoon Company with the three of them as like a collective group of main characters instead of focusing on any one of them, it'd be great. Like I could legitimately see that helping the show. So that's my idea on it. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
Javon
Benny.
said that we had a non-fleshed out main character. Benny was not a fleshed out character at all.
Benny wasn't a character, let's be real here.
He was a very much background character, which sucks because he was interesting what little we did see of him. He had he was like the getaway driver sort of person, and yeah, he
That's all he
had
was.
yeah, pretty much. And then
yeah.
he wore the Hawaiian shirt that Revy wanted Rock to wear. But he was there, he did things. There were 4 people in Lagoon Company, not including Balalaika, or in the beginning at least, and Benny was one of them.
Oh, you reminded me of something actually. The comedy in this show is actually like I don't know, I want to say it's weird because it's like this pretty serious action heavy show, but it's also got quite a bit of quality comedy in it as well. it like doesn't really feel forced, and I like that. Yeah, for example, every time they went to the bar and it got destroyed, and the guy's just like, Revy, why? You're paying for this, and she's just like, shut up. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's the kind of comedy that has to be used in this kind of show.
Yeah.
Like they didn't try to force in a different type of comedy. It was like, if you're gonna make somebody laugh, it's going to be in the context of these people, and that was well done. It didn't take me out of things. It just felt like these people are dry enough that any of this would actually just be said after like all of this.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So,
And
like,
Thomas has ascended to Sailor Moon.
I'm glad you got that. That was the purpose. Don't worry, I have another one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, Tom.
Speaking of
This has
comedy.
become a cosplay stream. No, but
This one's a shit.
anybody? It's hard to like try to talk in depth about the show because what I said at the beginning of the show still absolutely holds. I turned my brain absolutely off and just enjoyed the action. I enjoyed like what it gave me, but I never once felt the need to just think long and hard about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thinker's show. It's not the intellect's shonen. It is just there for cool shots and badass moments and rock.
So, what is the intellect shonen?
I don't know. I guess. I mean,
No,
no,
it's
it's seinen. It's seinen. It's seinen for sure. But my point being, as we all fine, it's not the intellect seinen, which I mean, a lot of seinen try to be. To be completely honest, this is not that one. It never wanted to be.
I'd say two contenders. I mean, they're not like really, but they have the idea of being intellectually like superior. We got Psychopaths and Ghost in the Shell. I'd say those are up there.
Mm-hmm.
For more modern ones as well, you could probably throw in Zanki no Terror as a seinen that tries to be intellectual, though that one I think falls flat. But this is not that. Like, we don't have... All we've discussed so far is, like, our favorite badass moment, our favorite badass character. The characters who weren't badass didn't really matter. Because that's it. That's what the show was. So at the end of the day, I think if that's what you want...
Watch JoJo's.
Watch JoJo's. No, but if that's what you want... And this is definitely a very different show than JoJo's. JoJo's takes it to a new level, we'll say. But if what you want is like a Hollywood movie or a Tarantino movie where just badass shit happens, nothing matters, and everything explodes, then watch Black Lagoon. Otherwise, don't watch Black Lagoon. So are we ready for final scores?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, my final score, I think, was a 7. Maybe. Woohoo! It was. All right. I just gave the spiel. I like watching things explode. That said, this is not an objectively good explosion show. It's just a very enjoyable explosion show. And therefore, it's above average in my heart. Will I probably be rewatching it? No. But will I look up cool moments sometimes? Yes. And eventually I'll probably watch season 2. So, it's a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's above average. I don't think it's good, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I gave it a 6.5. I think it's a very enjoyable show. It's not my type of show really, but I still enjoyed it. I don't usually watch this type of, like, I don't usually watch straight action, but I'd still say it's a pretty good watch if you like that. So yeah, 6.5.
Give it a 6. I don't think I have anything more to say about it. Watch it. If you like guns, I watched a. I don't want to plug this YouTuber. Not YouTuber, but YouTube channel. But there's like a top 10 like most badass characters, and that's where I first heard about the show. And apparently, Revy has the highest kill count at 167 or something like that. It's a trash channel. I still watch a lot of their top 10 stuff, but
Oh, you sicken me.
oh yeah, no, I'm a terrible.
You are
person.
the problem.
I know, but yeah, it's sure if you want to watch people die by getting shot in cool ways
Or exploded.
with two guns.
Not morbid at all.
Yeah, I mean, like, when Revy shoots the guy point blank with a grenade launcher and it explodes, and she just jumps away.
It's awesome.
It just doesn't make sense, but alright. Yeah, I mean, if you're into that, it's cool. It has some callbacks to the '90s as far as the animation's concerned. It's all right. Go for it. I'm not gonna. Let's see. I wouldn't recommend this, but I wouldn't tell people not to watch it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'd pretty much just be reiterating points. I give it a 7.5 overall. Again, it holds a special place in my heart. I personally would highly recommend it, but I also don't think it's the best show. I just think it's super fun to watch. Also, just a thing Thomas reminded me when he mentioned two guns. Her guns are called Cutlass, and they almost feel like a character sometimes because I don't know, they're named and they're like very special. But
They mattered more
anyway.
than Benny did, and I like them more than Rock.
Yeah, exactly. They feel like a character sometimes. You said it, Javon. Like, yeah,
It's because a lot of
So-
characters weren't people, but alright.
yeah. And yeah, I also really like the diversity in this show, which I've mentioned a couple times. It feels very cultural in a strange way, because like her guns are from Thailand and they have like Thai language written on it. It's like, I don't know. It's very aware when they use different cultures as well.
It paid attention to who their characters were from, at least,
The
or where
world.
their characters are from.
The world comes together to kill people.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's like it's the cesspool of the world where they live, basically. So, yeah, but anyway, I personally love this show a lot, and I would recommend it. I'm usually not a big fan of this type of thing, but this one in particular, I just quite enjoy, and I don't think we will ever review season 2. So I will also say I like season 2 quite a bit. So like it's a lot more of a coherent story, a lot of balalaika. So if you like balalaika and her whole deal, that's all of season 2. So
It might show up
Yeah.
eventually down the line, but we'll see.
maybe, but yeah, I give it a 7.5 overall, with a strong recommendation all the same.
So, Javon, what are we watching next week?
That's the thing.
Oh,
I want to postpone next week's. Originally, we had Higurashi Kai coming up. Now, I love Higurashi Kai, and we have a special guest waiting, if you guys remember from an earlier pod, but I'm going to check with him first before we promise anything. Now, before that, though, I want a Christmas special.
Okay.
Just rewatch Toradora's Christmas. That's a good one.
The Haruhi movie.
I'm not going to tell you guys. We're going to talk it out later. We might put a vote up, but I don't really want to this time because I want to choose the Christmas special.
I don't want to choose.
And
Do you have
therefore,
one in mind, or
I have a few in mind,
okay?
but we're going to have it be a surprise.
What if we put a vote on it, but the last decision goes to highest? It's just a recommendation. It's like the fifth person for our discussion.
We'll see how it goes. That said, I'm not going to spoil what it is. You guys don't get to open up the present until the Christmas special actually comes.
Oh,
but we're going to
boy.
have a Christmas special.
All 5 of our viewers.
Now, is it gonna be a series or a movie?
A movie. Most likely a movie.
Oh.
It's a Christmas special. There's no Christmas series.
We could watch an OVA.
OVA.
Yeah.
Listen,
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out and we'll let you guys know. But coming up next is Christmas. Because this is when I'm most powerful. Also, I have a penguin, and we will not be watching Maru Penguin Drum ever. But it's a penguin.
Aw,
So
wait,
happy.
are we not?
Wait,
I think it's on the list.
Wait, is it on the list?
It's totally on the list.
Oh no!
Hold on, I don't see it actually.
Oh wait, no,
Oh,
it's
thank
not.
God.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I don't like Maru
Yeah.
Penguin Drum. Please, nobody put that on while I'm not looking.
I think we discussed it, and I really wanted to, and I think Tom did, but he must have removed it.
That might have been on me.
I don't remember.
All right. Anywho,
well.
I said it wasn't where Goku Coco.
listen, we'll figure it out
That's-
later. But that's what's coming up. So, with that in mind, bye-bye. Oh, wait, no, crap, no, don't bye-bye. Do not leave. I would also like to point out that WeTaku Gaming is now a channel featuring mostly Steven and a new
My-
member of the WeTaku gang,
My roommate.
Allan's roommate.
Alan's roommate Aaron.
Yeah.
They've been playing Super Mario RPG.
And we just started Kingdom Hearts 2. We've been having a little difficulty with like
Recording.
not recording, just figuring out like editing stuff. But we're posting content, so
It'll come. On
Yeah.
top of that, there's some surprise content coming up. Keep an eye out on our channel and the gaming channel because it will be split between both. But I won't say what it is. I just say to all of those who enjoy the strumming of beats, keep your ears open.
What's
And
the
with that,
streaming channel called?
it's
WeTaku
just called
Gaming.
WeTaku Gaming.
Okay.
So.
So, with all that in mind, bye-bye.
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 Now you
Real
can
this time.
try.